Welcome to the Adventures of Paver Sealing podcast. In this episode, we're going to break down paver protecting and sealing, kind of walk through exactly what the service is. We're also going to talk about the process. We're going to talk about Paver Protector's unique selling proposition or value proposition, basically your superpowers.
Yeah.
Then we're going to also talk through some of the common questions people have. And we'll touch on the areas that you service as well. So as we get started, when you started Paver Protectors, did paver protecting and sealing back when everything started to kick off, like why did you choose to do that? And what's a little bit of the history of this in the journey of paver protecting?
Well, the reason I chose to do it is I noticed there was a big need for it. With all the pavers that are here in Florida, especially with this tropical environment, I noticed that a lot of mold and weeds growing up people's driveways. And those that had pool decks were having a lot of problems. I had neighbors that would say, hey, you've done pressure washing. Can you clean my pool deck? And I saw a real need for it. So that's why I reached out to somebody and got some training and did a lot of due diligence and came up with the Paver Protectors process, as I call it, which is, cleaning the pavers, sealing the pavers, and then we offer an ongoing maintenance program. So that way it takes the headache away from the homeowners and they don't have to worry about it quite as much.
The big thing I love about this is that there's a saying that roofs will leak, hard drives and computers will die, pavers are going to get dirty. It's just a common thing in the world.
Yeah.
So what we're really thinking of, and we'll break this down in more detail soon, is how we do it clean and protect using best practices, but also maintain. And that's something that over the years you've become a master of. There's just so many positive reviews, just even on Google, over 1,000 now.
Yeah.
Of and naming people's names that are on your team, the professionalism, the idea that we're keeping things taken care of over time is a huge part to the Paver Protectors philosophy. And a big part of this idea of where many businesses fall apart is consistency over time. So let's take a step into that world for a minute. And you think about, you've been in business for quite a long time now, and you've kept consistent with this. Any tidbits, hints, tips about consistency over time in the Paver Protectors way?
Yeah, I mean, basically what's worked for us is always reevaluating our customers' needs. So in the beginning, we had a maintenance program, and we would come out every 8 months, and it was set in stone. So if you signed up, you got a discount, of course, like you do now. But we said, we'll be here in 8 months, and then again in 16 months, and then in 24 months, you should reseal. And we were getting, I won't say kickback, but we get a few complaints that, well, I don't want to do it in 8 months. What if I want to do it in 10? And then my approach was, well, then it's not a maintenance cleaning because now we're going too far out and it's no longer maintenance. It's it's full cleaning. And through listening to our customers, we reevaluated. And so now our program is basically you still pay for 2 cleanings up front like you did with the other program, but you can use them whenever you want. And so by listening to our customers, it's evolved to where it's at today. Those are some of the tidbits that you always have to evaluate your customers' needs because they could change, or what you think they need isn't necessarily in their mind what they need.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of cater it to them within reason. They have 2 years to use the cleaning, so letting them use them whenever they want seems to work out best for us. Like I said, with the other way, sometimes they're cleaning we do in November. We don't come back till January. I don't want them done in November. And it is, kind of back and forth. So we want to make it as painless and seamless as possible for our customers. They're paying for a good service and they're paying for somebody that's reliable. So I'd rather them call us when they're ready. And it does save us a little bit of time too, because we were calling every single customer to schedule their appointment. And when they're not ready or call me next month, we're playing phone tag, we're making notes on when to call them back. It's so much easier to say, well, call me when you're ready.
Yeah.
And they like that. They just have to remember to call me.
Yeah, that's it.
But they do.
Yeah.
When you prepay for a service, you remember to call.
Yeah, and you're seeing it. So it's like a trigger. It's like,
yeah,
my pavers. Oh, yeah, I can call them.
Yeah.
Well, I want to pull out a superpower right now, what you just shared. And that is this collaboration and co-creative evolution of the service with customer feedback. This is one of the things you and I talk about just from a great business perspective, is how well you collaborate and co-create with your customers. So many people feel, and this is just a lot of entrepreneurs I've coached, small business owners, they feel like, I've got the answers the customer doesn't know. But what you've just shared is a hidden superpower in my mind, and that is, hey, we listened to the customers, we got the consensus, and we adjusted our process accordingly over the years. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's magic. Because when customers feel like they're heard, they feel like they're part of the Paver Protectors family. It just shows if you just read through the hundreds of reviews I've read through.
Yeah,
and then the feedback you get through email, all these kind of things. They truly feel, I mean, every review I've seen, they have that sense that you've got them, that you are part of the Paver Protectors family.
Yeah.
And one of the things you and I talked about in last series of podcasts is how we're very value forward. And we mean through our culture, we mean that we care, we're compassionate, we're also courageous. So if we have to have a difficult conversation with a customer, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it from the best place possible.
Yeah.
Make sure that the outcome's beneficial for both of us, even if they don't end up working with us, that's fine. So these are just some hidden superpowers that I want to make sure we assess and think through. Was there any, in your mind, this is more for the entrepreneur or small business owner listening, was there any hesitation to change your policy as you thought about that? Or was it like, you know what, the customers overwhelmingly are saying we want to change the way that we do our servicing for our maintenance? How did that feel for you?
Well, in that particular instance, no, there wasn't much hesitation. I thought I was actually more moving forward with that in my mind than, because some things I hesitate, reanalyze over long periods of time.
Yeah.
But just with the comments, and then a light bulb went off, I said, well, it actually saved me time because our staff's extremely busy.
Yep.
And to allocate hour after hour after hour just tracking people down, once in a while people would call and we announce what we're calling for. This is Paver Protectors calling to schedule your maintenance cleaning. Take me off your list. Like, they would forget that they actually paid for the service. And the pavers still look good, so they're thinking, you know what, don't bother me, you know. And we're like, no, you paid for this already. And then, oh, I did. And then they open up it in the beginning. They think we're solicitors. And so I find it so much easier to have them call us, because then it's not like we're trying to sell them something.
Oh, that's a very interesting.
Yeah, a lot of our customers are extremely busy, and they have a schedule that, you know, they don't really remember everything that they paid for. I'm kind of the same way when my AC company calls to remind me of my
service,
biannual service or whatever it is I paid for. Yeah. And then I'm like, did I pay for that? Yeah, you already paid. I'm guilty as charged, you know. It's like I forget as well. But so, yeah, I went out at full force, and it saves us a lot of time. Like I said, we're so busy, my office staff, trying to track these people down. Now we just wait for them to call, and it's so much less stress on my office, because I would say, hey, did you call Miss Jones? Did you get hold of her yet?
Yeah.
She's not answering. She hung up on me. Or I tried her through her email, and we're just allocating all of our resources on getting these jobs scheduled, where now it's a lot easier when they're calling us.
Well, a few big takeaways from what you shared so far. One is we're really clear at Paver Protectors on the values that we want to exude to the customers. And that comes right down from the top. Care, compassion. I always say, and people catch me on this, we want you to feel like you're like family. And some people will say, you don't want me to feel like you're part of my family, because that's dysfunction junction. I'm like, wait, let me requalify that.
Yeah.
We want you to feel loved, cared for, served, and so on. So we'll make that qualification. The other side is there's a consistency, and there's a drive to provide exceptional service. And a big part of this, and I want to make sure that the listener hears this, is there's a co-creative, collaborative journey at play where we're taking customer feedback and we're adjusting course. So many people that I've worked with, small business owners, even medium business owners, definitely entrepreneurs, are like, this is the way the service is going to roll. I don't care. And that attitude, even if they don't share it the way I just worded it, comes across in their language and their body language, and they can repel people. So the number one thing, and the root of that comes from the word compassion, recognizing somebody's struggle and having a desire to alleviate it, is to say, listen, if the customer is struggling with the fact we're getting calls and they're telling us that we're get me off your list kind of thing, a solicitor, let's reevaluate, let's change, and see how we can still provide great service to the customer, but do it through the lens of what maybe they fed back on. And it's a really, really critical ingredient for all businesses. It's like, when was the last time that you've reached out to your customers and asked, hey, is there anything that we're doing that you don't like, or anything that we can do better for you? And we're, if you got a minute or two, we'll talk that through. If you don't, that's fine too. Even through surveys, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Just to assess that we're doing that. And it is part of what we talk about. And as of the recording of this, we're in November of 2024. We're really looking at, we talked about, you and I talked about this last session actually, if we make 2025 our best year ever, and let's just think of that through the lens of being exceptional, personally and professionally, these are ingredients to that. How do we maintain care, compassion, love, courage, some of these things we talk through the services that we provide? And I just want to reiterate that Paver Protectors from the top down, that'd be you, is emitting that. And you have done that for, what is it, a dozen years?
Yeah.
It's just, that's part of our fabric of who we are. And no matter what we say here, the truth speaks for itself. If you go onto Google, if you go onto some of these, the website, that kind of thing, you'll see it just tons and tons of testimonials, people thumbing up the signs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we get a lot of response about those signs. Customers like, yeah, I'll do it, because my techs always ask,
Yeah.
And, they like to see themselves on the Facebook page or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and some that don't, we don't put them up there, obviously.
Right.
But it's just, it's kind of fun. They feel like part of the family. Our goal is to really just, we strive to provide exceptional service. There are times where if there's ever an issue, or I go out to a job site, or they have a question, me or Larry, my operations manager, we'll go out to the job, and typically by the time we leave, they're just like, thank you so much. I can't believe you even came out. I know it was silly, and there's no concern or question that's too silly. We'll come out and visit you if you feel there's a problem, and if there is a problem, we're going to fix it right away.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for us to get a call for some problem that may happen, and we get out and look at it the same day, and we've got it fixed sometimes in that same day.
Yeah.
We've got 7 trucks on the road, so we're always dispatching stuff to guys that are running ahead of schedule. And so, my customers know that things don't normally go wrong, but should something go wrong, they're usually very minor, and we could fix it easily, and we'll dispatch it right away. And our customers just love that about us. Again, like you said, if you read the reviews, you hear all kinds of stories. I was in this predicament, they helped me out, or I had a small issue, but they came out right away and fixed it. And that's really what I think is the when you look through a clear lens, that's what separates good companies from mediocre companies, is when things go wrong, how do you respond? I mean, it's great when everything's going good, everybody's kind of the same, right? But when there's problems, do they tackle those problems head on, or do they dodge your phone call?
Yeah, and do you step up as a superpower? There's a couple instances in my careers. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I would install computer workstations and computer servers. And we got a call from a real estate company in Brighton, Michigan. And it was on a Saturday morning from the girl that was our lead there, and she's a good friend of mine. And she called me and said, our server's not responding on a Saturday morning. And I could have said, well, we'll wait till Monday. I said, listen, we're on our way. And as a matter of fact, I'm coming, because I'm not even going to bother my techs.
Yeah.
And I came out there, and the hard drive died, and we had it backed up. And so I went back to the shop, got a new hard drive, brought it out, put it in, restored from a tape. They lost maybe 6 hours of data. She was like, I didn't even do anything, so they didn't really lose anything.
Yeah.
And then by Saturday, I would say Saturday early evening, the server was back. So I use that as an illustration, and I think you know this to be true, is that when you are called to fix something, or with an upset customer, whatever that is, that's your time to shine as a superhero.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah. And so when we talk a lot about, you and I have helped a lot of other business owners and so on, when we talk a lot about what it is to be exceptional, the service itself and the system that we use to do the service, we've done the research to make sure it's top-notch quality. But when the relational part of this hits and you have an issue, and you've had plenty of them, I know, you've told me, I've had plenty of people that were irate, and we're like, oh, back up a minute. You're talking to where the buck stops. I'm the boss. What can we do to make this right? And you're bringing that level of energy instead of dipping into their energy.
Yeah.
Which is like, don't blame me, blah, blah, blah.
Can't match negativity.
That piece to this is another superpower. So I would just challenge the listener to think about, if you get the call from a customer who's not happy and you got to fix something, what level of exception do you bring to that? And do you recognize that as an opportunity? Anything else you want to add to that?
Well, you'll find the results are overwhelmingly positive when you stay calm and you don't match negative energy. Because if somebody's calling you with a problem, in their mind, it could be something major. And maybe it is. Maybe you screwed something up, and maybe it's something extremely major.
Yeah.
if you just play it off like, well, our contract says this, or I told you this, be empathetic, listen to what they have to say, and then say, well, let me see what we can do. Because if you don't match their energy will come down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's rare, but we get the rare customer that calls and they're just looking for a fight.
Yep.
They're coming at us really hard. And my staff will say, Jeff, you need to talk to this customer. I'll take the call, and I'm as calm as this discussion right now.
Yeah.
And I use it as a training tool for my office staff as well, because all of our calls are recorded. It tells you that as soon as you call. So when they talk to me, they know they're being recorded, or they forget, or they don't care. But when I talk to them like this, and their energy level is like this, and then I say, listen, I'm just here to help you. And my staff can hear how I kind of diffuse the situation, because sometimes they don't know what to do. They just know this guy's irate, and what do I do?
Yep.
So I talk to the customer, and normally by the time we hang up, they're very excited that they talked to me. I look forward to you coming out, Jeff. Thank you so much. And, you get the result you want when you come out with kindness. But with us, I'll bring your energy level down, because I'm not gonna match it.
Yeah.
And if you can't bring it down, just call me back later when we could talk better, because if it's a shouting match, nobody's going to get anything done.
Wow.
It was funny too, when you were talking about reliability, or your story on the Saturday with the server. When I lived in Michigan, I had that window cleaning company. I actually was calling my customers from the, what do you call it, the waiting room in the hospital when Troy was being born. It's my first son.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So my wife's in there in labor, and I'm calling my customers. I had like 7 jobs scheduled that day. And I said, listen, my wife's in labor. And they're like, what are you doing talking to me? Get back in there. I said, well, I have an obligation. You're like, don't worry about me. My windows will still be here when your baby's born. They just could not believe that I was calling, but I was kind of a one-man show. It was just me.
Back then.
And they're expecting me. So I got to let them know that, unfortunately, I won't be there today. And they're just rushing me off the phone to get back to my wife. But even my wife knows that's how I run my business. But that's why I've been successful in those areas, is because I always take care of the customer.
Yeah.
And they were just amazed that I was doing this from the hospital. But
yes. One of my jobs is to dissect the values that are exhibited through what you just shared. Because so often in the work that I do in high performance coaching with entrepreneurs and small business owners and even medium businesses that I work with, we're teaching people how to live through their values. And what you just shared was communication is a top-notch value, openness, honesty, authenticity. These are 4 big ones that just came out of you calling from the hospital. And people respond to those as they did, right? Imagine the other side where all of a sudden they just don't see you show up, and you're like, oh, I was having my first son. Maybe they'll be forgiving, but when you're
or
in
they
front
may
of
think
that,
it's an excuse.
Yeah.
A lot of times people call them a truck broke down. And
so we're right in front of it. So I would just really want to make sure, a big part of our podcast work is to assure that there's lessons to be learned as an entrepreneur. And one of them is to be clear about those values and to consistently live into them. Communication, authenticity, honesty, and also respect, trust, and be sure that this is done from, in your case and in my case, we do that from the heart. And we're really clear about our energies. We bring it in to the conversation, and making sure that, the team, if you build a team, back when Troy was being born, it was just you. But as you build a team, that it really permeates down. And one technique that we use in high performance coaching is we'll list out values in a line item form, and then we'll have a checkbox in front of them. And instead of checking those values to say, did I live into these today? We rate those values. 0, didn't live into it all. 10, dominated it. And so when we think about that from our team, even in phone calls, we can say, hey, I would like to do a quick value. I'll call it a scoreboard because assessment sounds too, or report card sounds worse. I'd like to just sense for you, how well did you live into our values in our calls today? Just rate yourself real quick. Oh, with Mrs. Jones, fell apart. Oh, that was a 2. But the rest, I did pretty good. That really helps bring those top of mind and build the skills to live into that over time. So a little side journey for us there. Anything else you want to add about this idea of the values and top down and doing
No, just consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, because if you're pushing yourself to show better value, empathy, customer service in that aspect, and you're forcing yourself to do it, if it doesn't come natural, it'll fizzle out if you're not providing consistency. You got to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
And over time, it just becomes natural.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning, they have to fake it because nobody likes to be accused of doing something or doing something wrong.
Right.
Your first thing is to get defensive. But
Yeah.
if you hear the customer out and meet them halfway, if anything, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I've done things for customers that we were not at fault at all. We just had one recently. Customer thought we scratched their glass, and because we use spray shields, you know, to avoid overspray, or we put plastic up. So when we told her that we put plastic up or use a spray shield, and I was in there with my operations manager, Larry, my technician did not put the plastic up. He ran out of plastic, so he did shield it. Plastic's just extra precaution for overspray. And because he didn't put plastic up, she was looking at her glass to see if we got overspray on it. And there was no overspray, but she says there were scratches. But we didn't touch the glass. We didn't go anywhere near the glass. And I'm paying to get the scratches removed only because there was no plastic up. And in her mind, because that's part of our protocol, that if there's no plastic up, we must have caused the scratches. So instead of fighting her with it, I'm paying for the scratches. I know 100% there's no way. She even sent me the video. They got the Ring cameras in the back, and he went nowhere near the glass.
Yeah.
But because we didn't cover it, I'm willing to pay for it. So, you know, it's just doing that to keep a happy customer.
Yep.
And she left us a positive review, and she found us on their Facebook page. Because what's the flip side?
Yeah.
You know, I saved $600 or whatever it's going to cost me. I haven't got the bill yet, but it's under $1,000, I believe. I'm going to get a negative review. She's going on the Facebook page. I wouldn't hire this company. Here's what they did.
Yep.
It's so much easier to make her happy. And she's very happy that we're taking care of this. And I don't tell her we didn't cause it. I did say I find it hard to believe we could have caused it, but I'll take care of it. And then immediately she was calm. You know.
Wow.
And I just can't find a way that we could have done it. I watched the video. We didn't come nowhere near it. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'll pay for it. She'll be happy. She'll continue to use us. We'll get a glowing review on our Facebook page, and it is what it is. You know, you don't, depends on what it is. You know when somebody's truly trying to take advantage of you.
Yep.
I don't think that's the case here. I think she truly believes that you somehow cause the scratches.
Yeah.
You could tell when somebody's just looking at
you and I have this sense just because of the amount of time and communication and literally thousands and thousands of hours of interactions with customers. Just the human body read. The part that I want to celebrate for this is that you went the extra mile. And there's a saying that I love, go the extra mile, it's lonely there. And it feels like you went way beyond the extra mile in this instance. But to get the customer taken care of and happy as part of the big picture, it pays itself off over time.
Oh, for sure.
Because every positive review, every feedback, even her talking to her friends, which is something you and I talk about, the power of referrals, to say, you know what, they even fixed this glass issue that I thought they caused, took care of it. They're a great company.
Yeah.
That piece to this is that forwarding into the world. So often we talk about raving fans.
Yeah.
And these are people that just can't stop talking about what the great service was and how great their yard looks and those kind of things. And it feels like this is all part of that big puzzle. So yeah, thanks for sharing that story.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, the thing is too, it's also is when you're like, when I do estimates or if a customer asks me, because periodically it comes up, we'll quote a job and say, what set you apart from your competitors? They don't name companies. Sometimes they do, but I just basically tell them everything that we offer, our journey with our customers, and what not just what we offer, but our relationships with our customers. And I always urge them to go online and, you know, I'm proud of my reviews, but I tell them, I go to my Google reviews and click, you know, you can cipher through them, right? And say click lowest ratings and see all my 1-star reviews and then see how I respond to them. That's why you want to hire a company like me, because I can't make everybody happy, but with the ones that are just going to leave me a 1-star review, I offer everything I can to do it, make it right. I mean, that's what you get when you hire a company like us. Now, sometimes we're $400 more than somebody else. And that's when the people are asking, well, what sets you apart? Because prices, for some people, price is a huge issue. Yeah. You know, and when customers are shopping based just on price, they're usually not a good fit for us. Because to us, it's not, how do I word it? It's not just based on price, but to offer good technicians that you're going to see year after year after year. My guys get benefits. They get profit sharing. They get health care. They get that sort of thing. We always have good running trucks. We have backups for our trucks. So if a transmission breaks down, we're still at your house because I have another truck in the shop just waiting to go out. So those are all things that, as we know, are called overhead. We have higher overhead than, like, say, when I first started and it was just me and a pickup.
Yeah.
Or me and a helper.
Right.
So for that reason, I can't be the cheapest. But what you get in return is so worth it. Not just the maintenance program, that sort of thing. But if you're on the maintenance program, you're guaranteed that price for life as long as you're on the program. The value to that is huge because our customers do repeat. We get customers from 2012 calling to seal again. Now, if they were on the VIP program, they'd still be paying. I'd probably be losing money on that job. But with all the times that we've went out there and the customers that we gained by being out there and people seeing our trucks and our reputation just spreading through the neighborhood, that is so valuable beyond losing a few dollars 12 years down the road if they're still on the program. So when I explain that to customers, most of them are very excited to sign up, but we don't get all the jobs. It'd be impossible. Even with our pricing the way it is, like right now we're booked up over a month and a half.
Wow.
So
good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
We're decreasing advertising right now only because we just can't keep up with the flow.
Yeah.
But it is a good problem. But so right now I'm hiring and training for next year because every year gets busier than the year before.
Yep.
So every year I think I'm prepared for it. We still get busy, but this year we're pushed out a little further than normal because normally I just add more trucks, but our guys go through 8 months of training. And so right now we're training for next year. And that's what a lot of people don't realize because there's a lot of companies popping up every single day. They watch YouTube videos for a week and then they open up their business and they go at it. And so they're not going to be at the prices that we're at, which is fine because when I was at the beginning part of my journey, I wasn't where I'm at today.
Yep.
But over time, this is what your prices evolve into.
Yeah.
But I read the occasional review. We got 2 last week where the price was extremely reasonable and, because normally I hear the opposite. When I give quotes anyway, they're like, oh, it's so high.
Yep.
When I see extremely reasonable, I'm like, oh, I like that. You know? So it's in perception of the price is the person's perception of who you're quoting. Not everybody's the same.
Yeah. Big takeaways from this. And I want to circle back on the VIP program.
Yeah.
One of the big takeaways is value over price. The part that I absolutely love, and this is what I challenge every business owner and entrepreneur to have, is ethical justification for the price. And one of the things you and I talked about even in our last session, which was more of a high performance coaching session, we talked a lot about how to articulate exactly what our prices are in a way that the customer can understand it.
Right.
And you just demonstrated that through profit sharing with employees, health benefits, having backup trucks. That's not cheap, especially with the way insurance has gone in terms of car and auto insurance in Florida since the hurricanes whipped through. Just if you're not aware, listeners not aware of that, it's gone up like 2x to 3x, sometimes 5x.
Ours went up 3x. We're 29,000 annually, and then we were quoted as high as 100,000 this last term.
Goodness. So when we really unpack what we're getting for the price, and we think about all these superpowers, I'm going to call them, that you have in play, where you have great people, taking great care of those great people, this meaning your team, and taking care of your equipment, and using best practices, and learning continually with best practices for how to clean, protect, seal, these kind of things. This is all part of that bundle. Now, the thing that I love, too, about what you shared, and we talked a little bit about this last podcast as well, is a VIP program allows you to get into an arrangement or an agreement where you basically lock a price in so that you protect yourself for the future of inflation or price increase, depending on how that works out with the product and so on. Do you want to talk a bit about the VIP program?
So with the VIP program, we realized that even with sealing your pavers, they're still going to require some maintenance. Okay, they're going to get dirty over time. whether it be just pollen, that sort of thing. Mold can grow over time, and weeds are going to pop through the joints over time. So that's a main pain point for our customers, especially when they call and they say, I want to get an estimate because I came back and from up north and I got weeds all over my pool deck. Yeah. So immediately I know that their pain point is weeds, or it could be mold. So when you seal your pavers, we're making them less porous. So when it rains or the sprinklers hit it, and all that moisture is not going to penetrate into the pores of the brick. It's going to sit on top. Sometimes it'll beat up like mercury back in the day, or it'll sheet off into the joint, that sort of thing, or it'll just puddle on the surface. Okay. So when that moisture is not penetrating into the brick, that mold's going to take a lot longer to grow. Now, over time, it can grow on top of the sealer as well. It's nothing's going to stop mold, but it's easier to maintain. It's kind of like waxing your car. That's an analogy I use with my customers. When you wax your car, it stays clean longer, but it does get dirty. But then when you go to clean it, the dirt just washes off much easier. Yeah. So it's kind of like wax for your pavers in a sense. Also protects the pavers from the UV rays. So with that being said, being that these things are going to reoccur, I have, through research and just common knowledge, through the people in my industry, we have forums that we discuss, and most people are cleaning their pavers about once a year. Mm-hmm. So we base our maintenance in resealing every 2 years. So our VIP maintenance program is based on giving you 2 additional cleanings, okay, along with the clean and seal for a discounted price. So you get a discount on those cleanings, because on our estimate, it'll show the one-time price for a cleaning, and then it'll show the VIP price, which is for 2 cleanings, okay? If you pay for them up front. So if you signed up today, you would pay for your 2 cleanings. Mm-hmm. We send you vouchers. You don't need the vouchers when you schedule your cleaning. We do it more of a service because, like my wife, she likes to, if she has a coupon for a place, she hangs it up next to the calendar, in the pantry, so she remembers. Physical reminder. It's more of a physical reminder. You don't need them. You just call us, tell us you want to schedule your cleaning. But they do expire in 2 years. So we definitely want you aware of that you have these cleanings to use. So you call whenever you want. You got 2 years to use them. You get a discount on the cleanings as well as the clean and seal. And that price for all those items are guaranteed for life. So in 2 years, we're going to call you and see if you want to renew the program. And the first thing is, well, how much is it? Well, same prices you paid before you're grandfathered in. And sometimes they'll say, well, what's the price now? And we'll tell them what it is. And usually there's a difference. From 2011 to 2019, we had 1 price increase. From 2020 to 24, we had 3. Mm-hmm. The cost of our materials, just the cost of doing business. Most people know these things because they watch the news. We'll call it inflation, or people get into politics and go back and forth. But the truth of the matter is our costs have gone up significantly, whether it be chlorine, the degreasers that we use, the sealer we use, not even including the labor. I don't raise my prices based on my guys getting raises. Okay. We're successful because there's a huge need for our service, and we're really knocking it out of the park, and people want to use us. So I don't charge them for that, so to speak. But when the auto insurance, everything else that we named, gasoline, all these things go through, so I have to raise my prices. Because if we're not profitable, we won't be around. Right. So when they compare me to somebody that's $400 less, I explain those things. Yeah. So listen, these are just costs that we have to pass on to the consumer, or we won't be here. Right. So our goal is to be here for the long term. I mean, we've been here 13 years, going at 14, and we're not going anywhere. So we're actually growing. We're building a new office. We got a lot going on, a lot of exciting things. So we have to keep our prices at the level that they're at right now. And then if our materials go down, we'll even lower the prices. Mm-hmm. My margins are my margins. So if I'm able to do that, we definitely do that. But with the price guarantee, I think that's what really sets us apart, because I contemplated when I first did it, is this going to bite me in the butt? Is this something that I truly can offer? And I can. Because say if they've been with us 4 or 5 years, I doubt we'll be losing money. We may be breaking even, because once that profit whittles away, because our costs do go up. Yep. But the relationships that we build, and them bragging to their neighbors, and people seeing our trucks in the neighborhood at least, or at their house at least twice in a 2-year period, that gets us recognition. People start calling us, and that's why we're booked out so far out. Mm-hmm. So we have this program, and no matter where we work, people have seen our trucks, because we're not there just once. we're there taking care of our customers. So I just wish gas stations offered a VIP program, because if I could still be paying $1.69 a gallon, I'd be ecstatic. But
yeah,
we offer it, and it's worked well for us as well as for our customers. They love it.
The number one thing that I think about when you share the VIP program and the locked price is the fact that you've overcome a pricing objection. It's of their benefit to maintain it, presuming they're staying in their house and they're going to have pavers that need to be cleaned at any point in the future. It's like you've just future-proofed their one expense around paver cleaning, sealing, protecting. And I just think that's absolute magic.
Well, when I'm estimating a job, the first thing I ask them is, or when we're discussing the maintenance program, I always tell them the only time it doesn't make sense, if you're going to be listing your house in the next year or two, it doesn't make sense to do it, because you pay for the cleanings up front. They're not refundable, because we're locking in all these discounts for you right off the bat.
Yeah.
So once, if they are going to be moving, then, don't do it. Just do the one-time clean and seal. Yeah. And if you need a cleaning, even our regular price is extremely competitive, and it's great value.
Yeah.
But the VIP is just one step above. But if you're going to be moving, it wouldn't make sense to do a 2-year program if you could be moving in a year.
Right. So a big part of our, we'll just wrap up with this, and then we'll get into our next podcast. We'll talk more about the specific services. But a big part of what we've covered today is this. What are the things that we do to be an exceptional company over time? And how do we overcome objections? And the VIP program overcomes the big pricing objection. And it doubles down on customer longevity with us for the long term. So any final notes as we wrap up this podcast?
Yeah. Well, with the VIP program, just to hint on something too, our retention rate on that program is huge. It's like 75%.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome.
And people do move, and people's economic, conditions change. And, but yeah, people overwhelmingly just love our program. You see them in our reviews too. Yeah. So just keep in mind that anybody that's doing business with us, we're always looking out for your best interest and providing you what you need. When I first started, I didn't have a maintenance program, and I figured out that this is really what customers needed. So that's what we love about doing relationships with our customers is by talking to them, I understand what their needs are.
Yep.
And we're always working on those things.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people they get nervous, because I notice a lot of questions when we did estimates were, well, how do you protect my outdoor kitchen? How do you protect my windows? How do you, we use a spray shield, and we took it one step further. We put plastic up now. We don't have to. We don't get overspray on windows or on outdoor kitchens. There's been 1 or 2 instances in 14 years that's happened.
Yeah.
And we fixed it, but it was extremely windy day. We shouldn't have been sealing it that day is pretty much what it boils down to.
Okay.
But so we put the plastic up. That's all for our customers, because I listen to them.
Yeah.
And when they continually say, well, how do you cover everything? Is there anything I should do? So we just stepped up our game, and now we put plastic up just in case the wind blows and gets behind the shield, Yeah. So when you're dealing with a company like us, it's like you said, care and compassion. We listen to our customers, and we make sure that we are extremely reliable with the backup trucks, backup equipment. Very rarely do we ever have to reschedule. The only times I can really think of where we've had to reschedule people is when COVID was really a thing. Still is. But our guys don't really get COVID anymore. And it ran through our company, and sometimes we had to reschedule people, but they totally understood. And my guys were, hey, I tested positive. I feel great. I'll go out. And I said, I'm not going to send you out if you have COVID.
Yeah.
But I tell customers, he's got COVID and he's willing to work if you really want him to. No. Just tell him to come back in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So other than that, we're always there. In fact, one of our reviews online was about, day after the hurricane, couldn't stop these guys. They came out and, because we're there for you.
Yep.
So we just like our customers to know that. This podcast is a very good tool for explaining these things in detail.
Yep.
Because on a website or on a brochure, you can't hear all the details in the background of where we come up with these policies and how we take care of our customers and how these programs evolve to where they're at today.
Yeah. All that being said, I love the fact that you can be in depth and articulate about so many things, from the customer experience, why we have certain policies, procedures. You've got great analogies to really help people understand and really get the difference. So we'll end this podcast, but if anybody wants to work with you, they call 239-288-0705 or visit paverprotectors.com. get that estimate, and we'll get on it and take care of you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeff.
All right. Thanks, Charlie.
Yep.